Ski season is here, or almost is. Thanksgiving weekend is when many ski areas across Vermont look to be welcoming their first customers, as Bromley Mountain in Peru did on Sunday, November 29th. Stratton Mountain is grooming its trails and hopes to be ready for the winter season soon. But as with everything else during this unusual year, how the ski season will play out is still uncertain to a degree. Ski areas are planning to open and chairlifts will be taking skiers up to the summits, but with a new round of COVID-related travel restrictions in place, especially ones around quarantines for a week or more, how a skier from out of state hoping to come to Vermont for a weekend or a few days of skiing without having to quarantine for a week or two on either end is something many are no doubt trying to figure out. We caught up with Bill Cairns, the president of Bromley Mountain, to hear how they are planning for the upcoming season.
So this whole process really started last summer. We opened up with summer operation just before the 4th of July. We typically open up Memorial Day weekend. So operating in a pandemic, we have a little bit of runtime under our belt. We had our summer season. It proved to be very helpful. One thing we learned from the summer, and we required masks before the state mandated mask wearing in public places, and that went very well. And that gave us some level of confidence that people were paying attention and coming to Vermont. I spoke to many customers through the summer that were pleased with the precautions that we had taken. They had studied up on what we had put out, and because of the precautions that we had taken, came to Bromley with a level of confidence. Fast forward to September, as the winter season starts coming into focus, all the Vermont ski areas, and we fall together under the Vermont Ski Areas Association, we met and we started development of a winter sector plan. And the ski resorts are a sector like lodging is a sector. And the idea was to put forth to the Agency of Commerce and Community Development, ACCD, a plan that would meet their approval so that we could open up for the season. We submitted that plan around September 18th, and it was approved in early November. We had a couple back and forth with the ACCD. One of the things that happened during the approval process that sort of set us back on our heels, I think it set the whole state back on its heels a little bit, was the hockey outbreak in northern Vermont, central Vermont. So that actually led to a few requirements that were actually stricter than we had anticipated, and I think even maybe ACC was anticipating. So this, in early November, once we had a sector plan, we could go forth with, okay, how are we going to divide? How are we going to meet the mandates that the state's asking? So we have a really good team at Bromley. We've been talking about this for quite some time. We have posted almost all the requirements that meet what the state expects of us as an operator open to the public on our under our health and safety tab on our homepage. But there is challenges. And the challenges, the cross-state travel, the ability to move freely around the resort, all of these things are going to lead to a winter of certainly less revenue. It's going to be a winter about cost control. It's going to be a winter of keeping everybody safe, including the employee. So we have, as usual, not that there weren't enough balls to juggle in this business. There are a few more. And I think what we have pulled together what I think is a very solid plan.
But skiing, of course, is about more than mountains, chairlifts, ski gear, and snowboards. It's a $1.6 billion industry in Vermont, and the impacts range from ski resorts to lodging establishments to ski equipment shops to gas stations and convenience stores and just about everybody else. We asked Brian Margiato, the owner and general manager of the Inn at Manchester, what his concerns were about the coming winter season.
Sure. So, Andrew, I'd say right now, the ski mountains are setting the tone. We've been in this now since, in some cases, May 15th or June 15th, maybe July, depending on when you opened. But we're very well versed with how to communicate and really effectively negotiate a path for people to come to Vermont. We had two options before. We had our eligible county model along with the option of quarantine. Now we're just left with quarantine, and that's what the ski mounds are going to have to adopt. And they have an easier way of doing it, although they're still asking the same question. The benefit for the ski mounds, and it will be mostly resort properties, is they do have lodging inventory in their communities. So if it's the Stratton Village, if it's Stowe Mountain Lodge, if it's Trap, these are places whose direct infrastructure supports the ski mountain and the ski mountain alone. Manchester's always been unique. We have a little bit of everything. So a family that travels here is able to potentially shop, dine, ski, skate, and hike all from our doorsteps instead of being somewhat isolated up the hill. But that's also because compression has forced people into these larger accommodation areas. There's only so many beds that Stratton has available on a normal year. This year, that's a little bit more exciting. They'll be able to pack people in, and that might be reflective of exactly who's skiing on that given day, if the price point is right. So there's definitely some concern from where I sit that we might not see that same level of compression push down the hill in ways that it has over the last 30 years. But we won't know until we get closer to the holiday season. And really those numbers that we're going to be looking at, just like at the ski mountains, are going to be Christmas to New Year's, President's Day weekend, and MLK. Those are going to be our three key periods where we know we have to hit certain numbers to stay on pace, even if pace is considered 50% of last year.
Finally, we checked in with John Bradley, who runs the Bradley Pro Shop in Manchester, where they sell skiing and biking gear, to hear what his thoughts were on the upcoming ski season.
Yes, there's a lot of pent-up demand, which is the good news. People are excited to continue, doing some sort of outdoor activity because it's been so restrictive of the last, 6 to 8 months. But we're all a little nervous. I think that the businesses in town, we're all a little kind of nervous about the fact that it's not going in the right direction. All the reports are that it's not getting better, it's getting worse, and we're concerned. There's positive vibes going on because of the fact that so far so good. But again, we're all kind of waiting to see how it plays out. It's, to answer your question, it's been good so far. There's a lot of demand. A lot of what we term in my business the city shops, ski shops, meaning the shops down in the cities, whereas I'm considered, and shops up here are considered resort shops. There's a lot of the business. The numbers have been good down in the cities, and they start earlier than us. Obviously, we start now, and so there's a lot of positivity going around. But like you said, we're all waiting to see what happens. I know that the governor and the state of Vermont are doing a fine job because we're about as safe as it gets around the country. But I just hope that they send the right message. Obviously, people are welcome to come to Vermont to go skiing, and that's what a lot of people want to do. They just have to do it the right way, and that's.
Like everything else during this upended year, ski season will be different. Although for many skiers, once they're heading down the trails and slopes, it may be easy to forget all about COVID, at least for a little while. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.